On tap, Iron City Beer.
Better Beer Authority, Better Beer.
Welcome to the Better Beer Authority. I'm James Knott. Today, we'll be talking about Iron City Beer, which has been made by the Iron City Brewing Company in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania since 1861. Loved by the people from Pittsburgh, hated by most beer connoisseurs, this beer is probably most notable for its strong regional ties to Western Pennsylvania. This is an American-style lager with 4.5% alcohol by volume and 140 calories per 12-ounce bottle. American-style lagers, also called American Adjunct Lagers, became popular in the U.S. during Prohibition, when many brewers were forced out of business. They're characterized by a pale straw-like color, light flavor with no bitterness, and the use of rice or corn as adjunct ingredients that cut down on the cost of brewing. The most famous example of this type of beer is Budweiser. Scott, where do you see yourself drinking this beer?
Well, James, I'd have to say that I'd be sitting at PNC Field watching a Cubs-Pirates game and watching the Cubs go on to victory. I'd be drinking about 10 of them there. It's about the only place I can see myself drinking this beer.
Joby, would you say this rates above or below Budweiser?
To me, I'd have to say it rates slightly below Budweiser. I've drinking more Budweiser in my day, so therefore the taste of this isn't as becoming to me. But to me, Budweiser is a meal in a can. I'd have to say Iron City's a hot dog in a can, James.
And Adam, what do you think about like the flavor and the aroma?
I think the flavor is fine. I mean, it tastes like an old school Miller beer to me. The aroma, I read some reviews about the smell of citrus, nuts, apples, and grapes. I don't get that, only if it was in a compost pile.
Okay, and Scott, give us the rundown. Where does this rate for you?
I guess a mediocre beer. I'd say it rates a 5, and the only reason it rates a 5 to me is because it's middle of the road, and I'm an experienced beer drinker, but I'm sure there are thousands of beers out there I haven't tasted. So maybe if I tasted a few hundred, a few thousand more, I'd push this rating up a little higher, or maybe push it down a little bit. But
what about the flavor? I mean, do you think it's light and refreshing, or do you think...
Not at all, not at all. I think the flavor is just watery, kind of thinned down Budweiser, as Joby might have mentioned earlier, kind of compared it to that. It's just kind of a simple beer to me, nothing outstanding about it.
Okay. Joby, how does this appeal to your palate?
I'd have to give it overall rating of 5, James. This beer reminds me of being in college back in Athens at the Greenery drinking quarter draft night. So not very high, not very low, pretty much middle of the road. If I was going to drink it, I was going to drink it to get drunk.
Okay. And Adam?
I'm going to agree with Joby on this one. This is not a session beer. This is a straight getting drunk beer. I need to point out that, James, you're almost out of beer. Joby and myself, we're on our second beer. I'm going to give this a rating of a 7 because we drank the beer.
Well, that gives us a BBA rating of 5.7. So head to Pittsburgh and let us know what you think. If you'd like to see more of the Better Beer Authority, then hit subscribe or send us a friend request. We plan on having one new episode per week. Thanks to Libby Glass for providing the glassware for the Better Beer Authority. Libby.com/store. When you head out for a drink, don't forget your designated driver. I'm James Knott. This is your Better Beer Authority.